The legal quake. Hello there, truth seekers and lovers of justice. Welcome back to the news desk. And the air in Abuja is thick with the smell of legal correction. If you thought Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's life sentence was a closed case, you better sit down because the Court of Appeal just opened the file and found more errors than a middle schooler's math homework. We are talking about 10 massive, mind-boggling, and fantabulous errors that the appellate judges have uncovered in the case file from the Federal High Court. And let me tell you, if these stick, the previous judgment isn't just wrong, it's legally non-existent. Error 1 through 3, the foundation cracks. Let's look at the screen and start with the big one, illegal rendition. We've talked about it until we're blue in the face, but the appeal court is finally putting it on paper. You cannot kidnap a man from Kenya and call it a legal arrest. It's like stealing a car and then trying to register it in your own name. The law simply doesn't work that way. The second error, ignoring the Supreme Court. Justice Omotosho reportedly handpicked which Supreme Court rulings he wanted to follow and which ones he wanted to distinguish. That's lawyer speak for ignore. But here's the thing. The Supreme Court is the big boss. If they set a standard, the High Court has to follow it, whether they like the defendant's broadcast speeches or not. The third error is a classic, the failure to revoke bail. Kanu was granted bail in 2017. He fled because his house was invaded, which, you know, is a pretty good reason to leave. But the court never actually revoked that bail with a fresh order before they rearrested him. On paper, he was still a man on bail, making his arrest a legal mess. Errors 4 through 7, procedural chaos. Moving on to the fourth error, trial continuation despite pending appeals. Kanu had several issues sitting in the appeal court, but the High Court said, "No time, let's just finish the trial." It's like a referee continuing a football match while the VAR is still checking the goal. Fifth on the list, reliance on DSS testimony. The court reportedly took the DSS's word as gospel, even when their timelines didn't match and their evidence was as vague as a coming soon trailer. There was no rigorous scrutiny, and the burden of proof was shifted onto Kanu, which, newsflash, is the exact opposite of how criminal law works. The sixth and seventh errors deal with terrorism charges and fair hearing. They sentenced him to life based on broadcast speeches and political agitation. The appeal court is asking, where is the actual act of terrorism? They also noted that the proceedings were rushed under the guise of security, effectively denying Kanu a fair hearing under Section 36 of the Constitution. Error 8 through 10, the selective blindness. Error 8 is the failure to address contempt. The DSS repeatedly disobeyed court orders to grant Kanu access to his legal papers, but the court just looked the other way. Ninth, selective use of international law. The judge reportedly used international treaties from the USA to verify the terrorism aspect, but ignored those same treaties when they favored Kanu's defense on rendition. As the defense argues, you can't use international law only when it's convenient. And finally, the 10th error, no remedy for rights violations. Even when Kanu pointed at an officer in court and said, "That man attacked me," the court did nothing. There was no exclusion of tainted evidence and no protection for his fundamental human rights. The final verdict? For now, the moral of the story is a judgment built on 10 massive errors is like a house of cards in a hurricane. It cannot stand. The appeal court's discovery of these 10 blunders is a huge moral and legal win for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. What do you think about these 10 errors? Is it enough to set him free, or will the government find an 11th way to keep him? Drop your comments below, hit the like button, and make sure you're subscribed. I've got 3 more videos dropping today that go into the specific response from the presidency regarding these errors. You don't want to miss a single second. Stay smart, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.